So yeah, going on from what I was just saying, the Queen is dead, long live the King thing is just like a kind of fantastically, um, beautifully simple system. You know, the next monarch is immediately um, becomes. I've got my very British tea posted from England by family. Um, yeah, so the next monarch is immediately becomes the sovereign as soon as the previous king has been pronounced dead. So I think throughout history they would have observers there, and it's kind of a really crucial moment. Um, but in a way, like it kind of like you know it does away with all of this the faff of having to have an elected figurehead. So I mean, there's a whole like I'm not going to go into like what the benefits of that kind of system are, but there are a bunch of them, and this is coming from someone who used to, in his naive youth, think he was a communist and then thought he was an anarchist. You know, like now I'm kind of, oh well, constitutional monarchy kind of seems to like, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's been going on for quite a while. Anyway, yeah, like, oh, another like random coincidental thing. It's like on the exact day, the Queen decides to pop her clogs. Poor old Liz. Um, my new passport came, which I was kind of really worried because they made me post it from here. So I was pretty convinced that it was going to be in the hands of some Somali pirates now, you know, like because they made me post it by sea, not recorded delivery, in an envelope with a stamp, and then they wrote on the outside, "This is a passport," and I was like, that seems like not a great idea. But anyway, it got there, and then the new one came back, and because I've got this before the Queen sadly passed away. The usual statement is it's not his Britannic Majesty. It's still her. So I'm gonna have this for as long as I how long are they valid for? What, like 5 years? Let me check. I'm gonna have this till 2032. 2032. And it's always going to say, okay, I'll read it. Her Britannic Majesty, Secretary of State, requests and requires, in the name of Her Majesty and all those who it may concern, to allow the honour of the bearer to pass freely, without let or hindrance, and to afford the bearer such assistance and protection as may be necessary. Can't quite read it, it's quite small. But I just like the Her Britannic Majesty, Her Majesty and all those. Anyway, I just thought that was kind of a little bit random coincidence. So yeah, when I heard the news, and then a bloke came to the door like an hour later, handed me passport from Her Majesty. So yeah, I'm going to remember that. Yeah, I guess like I know there's a bunch of other thoughts that I've got that I kind of would want to talk about. Like I don't know, the fact that I've decided to just go like mad patriotic just for this one video. Like a lot of people get major freaked out, like the liberally types, of which I used to be one, by the Union Jack ever, anywhere. I thought I could get away with it today because it's, you know, the mourning period post Queen. I've got loads of friends still on the left that are very kind of, I don't know, they're just like really, they're really not, even ones that are not that political, they're just like not really, either not really bothered, like indifferent about the monarchy, or they've got like a real like distaste for it that it seems kind of not really founded on a kind of, it seems very emotional. I don't know. What other thoughts have I got? It's really like late. So honestly, I'm pretty bit tired to be making a ramble. But yeah, like okay, that was one thing I was thinking about. I really wanted to look at like how the British express patriotism. So we don't really express patriotism in a very kind of loud, like gung ho way. So, and we generally have quite a self-deprecating sense of humour. So, I think people are sometimes they kind of like misled by that, and then believe that we don't have any kind of patriotic sensibilities. But there was a study written about some of this that like maybe I need to read that. Actually, I need to go into detail about it. But it's just a different way. People are patriotic in a different way from Britain. Like we don't tend to like be like waving flags around so much, and we don't really have all these elaborate ceremonies like the Americans do, or like the way they fold the flag up. And like if the flag touches the ground, it's not gonna like, nobody really cares. It doesn't really matter. They don't have the kind of same symbolic meaning, almost spiritual meaning. It's like the way Americans see their flag, which I don't really know what I think about. What I think about that. Yeah, like, oh, and the other thing, I just really don't want the money to change. Like, when you're just really used to, like, seeing the Queen's face your whole life on something, the idea that she's not going to be there anymore just seems like, I don't know. Like, I used to have, like, a penny pot, like, when I was a kid, like a really young kid, just full of, like, pennies, and I remember thinking, oh, look at all this money, like, how rich am I? And it's like, I don't know, it must have been like, I don't know, $5 or something. But I don't know, like I just remember playing with it and counting it and just like thinking about like, who is this person? Like why are they on the money? What is the significance of that? What does that mean? And then as you get older, it's just there. And the idea that that's going to change, it's going to like feel really weird going into shopping. Anyway, I generally find I really don't like it when countries like update their banknotes. I know they have to do it for security reasons and stuff, but like another country that I know is about to change their currency as well, and I just like when I become familiar with something aesthetic, I just want it to stay. Anyway. Oh, that's the other thing about like, didn't talk about Liz's character at all. Like, she just like really very duty focused, and that is definitely something that's kind of lacking in the mentality of people today. I think, you know, the what did they call it? The it's like the emotional kind of revolution that happened. Now everyone's really narcissistic, self-focused, and after a few decades of people like airing their dirty laundry on national TV, for victimhood status. I think people have they don't necessarily have the same attachment to the idea of like duty. Anyway, all of this ramble is just kind of like the beginnings of thoughts that I'd like to sort of explore at some point. Anyway, like I said, I'm too tired. It's about like maybe like nearly 2 a.m, so over and out.